Live from our studios, just steps from the fabulous Las Vegas Strip, it's the Business Lounge with your host, David Wright.
Hi, I'm your host, David Wright, and welcome to the Business Lounge, where we talk to real people about real business and real success. With me today, I have Pastor Jeremy Bosma. Before you start questioning my sanity here, the reason Jeremy's on the show today is marketing has become an integral part of every church that's out there in the market today. So I want to thank Jeremy for coming on the show today.
Hey, thank you, Dave, for having me today. It's an honor to be here.
You know, the thing that probably I want to ask more than anything is, how did you get involved with the ministry?
Well, it took place about 11 years ago, and I was actually in a youth retreat, and I went for different reasons for girls and wanted to go with my friends, and got a call of God. I believe God spoke to me and said, you're going to go into the ministry. And back in those days, I thought, you know, a pastor is boring, it's not going to be fun, it's not going to be cool, and but I, you know, didn't do the college route, but I actually went to an internship program with College Christian Ministries and traveled with evangelist over every state in the United States except Idaho, and which was a joy and just a great exposure. But I was his multimedia guy. So I ran his PowerPoints, ran all his multimedia, all his production and sales, and then I got landed in Las Vegas, and about 8 years ago, and been doing it ever since here at the Champion Center.
Outstanding. So tell me a little bit about the challenges that the churches face with getting the word out today.
Well, a major challenge with getting the word out, I guess, is traditional mindsets. You know, in the olden days, we used to, you know, give a print out, whether it's a bulletin or a print ad. We'll give it to somebody in our congregation, pray over it, right? Pray over the media, and pray it gets to as many people as we can get it to. And then when we leave the parking lot, it's all over the parking garage. And,
so you had a cleanup ministry then.
That's right, cleanup ministry. I know. And so now our major challenge is, how do we get our word out? And with, you know, social media, with marketing, you know, with the print and the website and all those different things. So it's a major challenge. But also, I think for churches, it's hard for them to define what their content is. So oftentimes we think we're selling something, but really we're offering the good news. We're offering what Jesus Christ has for them. I know that at our church, at the Champion Center, we're offering a place for you to be you, but not only a place for, you know, where you won't be judged, where you won't be harassed, but a place where you can be yourself, but also we see potential in you through Jesus Christ, that every person has been bought with a price, that they're God's masterpiece. And so trying to package that, you know, people always say, what's the ROI, return of investment? And we always say it's people. You know, we're not necessarily selling a product like Shazam or, you know, whatever, you know, big box market, but we're selling a place where you can get healing, a place where you can get restoration. And how do we do that is what I think a lot of churches are struggling with.
So if I understand correctly, you just started doing some very simple things, just some basic recording, maybe doing a little television, some audio tapes, CDs, and then you would package and sell those. But the biggest challenge that I'm always faced with when I go to church is they're really good at selling inside, but they find it very difficult selling outside the body itself. Like you had intimated before, that you used to have a flyer, you'd hand the flyer to a congregant, the congregant would go out to the parking lot and throw it down in the street, so to speak. So what are the three major avenues that you use today to get that word out?
Well, what we use is, in conjunction, before I kind of hop into that, we have a live stream. And so we live stream all 5 of our services and our Wednesday night service. And so that's been a great resource and tool to say, if you miss service, here you go. And I say that because one of our major avenues is convenience. The reason why that flyer doesn't make it to the car, doesn't make it into their workplace and someplace else, is because of convenience. And so what we're trying to do is provide convenience. So here's what we use. We use Twitter, and what we try to do is we tweet as much as we can. I'm not, I'm a proponent of Twitter personally, but with our church, we use Twitter really heavily on the weekends. So a pastor says, well, one-liner, we tweet that, because that's where it gets people emotionally. If he says a great one-liner, we'll pump that out with a hashtag. We try to stick with a hashtag. For Facebook, Facebook's been a great place to connect, for us to throw out maybe graphics, maybe for us to throw out what's coming up. And we use LinkedIn, we use YouTube. YouTube's a great place for us to put our video announcements up, as well as the full-blown services, really to provide that convenience. Because Dave, social media, number one, is all about connection. And so many times we lose grasp of that because so many churches or even businesses, they hop on social media and say, hey, this is what's going on with us, this is what's going on with us. And so many times we forget to connect and say, what's going on with you? How can we provide a service for you? What, do you have drug addictions? We have a ministry here. Do you have, are you lonely? We have a young adults ministry, all these different types of avenues. So we use that very heavily as social media, number one, because that then leads to word of mouth, to where people say, you know what, I have a great church, they're cutting edge, they use social media, even to jump on Twitter. We have a pastor who encourages people to tweet during church. So we say, pull out your phones, hop on Twitter, hop on Facebook, check in on Facebook. And we do that because it helps us as a business place, as a religious organization, but also I think it provides a comfortable environment. People use Facebook 15 hours a month on average. We only get them for 90 minutes a week. And if we can get them to kind of integrate those two things, maybe we can get them for more than 90 minutes a week. You know what I mean?
Yep, it makes sense. So help me and the audience understand how you decided that that was key to the ministry. Talk about that process a little bit, because I know a lot of churches out there, the board would have said, no way, we're not doing this, you're selling the gospel. So help me understand that position a little bit.
Well, in regards to social media, Dave?
Yep.
In regards to social media, well, number one, with the board, we say, hey, it's free. And they go, green light, it's free, go ahead, But really, it's not free because time is your most valuable asset. And when I say that, you really got to put time and effort in. I say do 30 minutes a day or more. 30 minutes is absolute minimum, but you got to connect. And so our strategy is, what we try to do is, whether it's Twitter, we tweet at least once a day if we can. Facebook, we try to Facebook once a day. Tweet, we kind of go as crazy as we want. You can tweet as much as you can. Facebook, we try to minimize that to maybe one or two a day. LinkedIn and YouTube are all kind of linked together with our video services, as well as Vimeo. What we try to do is we do an email blast on Thursdays to send out what's coming on, and we don't do it as much because every time we send out an email blast, people unsubscribe, and we say, okay, what's the different avenue? What's going to work best for people? And so if I would say, if there's a church and they say, how can we market better? How can we do things better? I would say get somebody on staff who is intelligent enough to use social media, but also, when I say intelligent enough, meaning they know what's coming up, but they also know the vibe of people. They know what's going to target their hearts for them to be able to say, you know what, I want to come to the Champion Center. A great testimony was one day, sitting in my office, doing my Twitter with the Champion Center, search church in Las Vegas. Found a complete stranger who said, I'm looking for a church in Vegas, just moved here. Anybody know of a great church? So I hop on our Champion account, invite him out. He came out that weekend. I told him to come find Pastor Jeremy, and sure enough, he was asking for me and said, hey, I saw you on Twitter. And so it's been great to connect with people through that avenue, through a free service, but as well as connecting with somebody.
So the key to connecting with people is really being interactive.
Yes.
So you use a lot of interactive media. And what type of return have you seen on that? I know you talked about the one gentleman that was out there, I need a church in Las Vegas, and you were able to hit him right away. But what are some of the other responses you've seen from the forms of social media and video that you use?
Well, right now we're doing a major campaign, through our pastors called Breakthrough, and we're asking people to fast for 21 days. And so we use a Facebook group, and now we have over 100 people in this group, and it's really unique to see the interaction of people. They're posting recipes, they're posting prayer requests, as well as praise reports. And so through that, we're seeing a major connection. So it's not only is the product or the company connecting with the individual, but now we're interlinking and we're networking. We're intertwining people with one another. And that's a major encouragement for us. But as well as, Dave, responding to people is huge. If you look at some companies' Twitter or some companies' Facebook, if they're never replying back to people, that shows me they have poor customer service. And I believe the church needs to be the cutting edge with customer service. I know we're seconds from the strip, but really we should have the upper hand in trend setting. And I say that because the more and more we begin to respond and be available, the more and more people, I believe, see our church as something that's attractive.
Okay. So if you were going to pick one form and make a recommendation on how a church can use that form, which one would it be and how would you suggest that they use it?
What form, what platform?
Yeah.
I believe Facebook. Facebook is really has done a lot for us. I know even Twitter in the past year, their demographic shot up with, 50 to 60-year-olds.
Right.
More people are hopping on Twitter, so it's not just young kids and Instagram. But I always, suggest people, we have a church website that we paid a lot of money for, and then we have a free Facebook account. More and more people are hopping on that Facebook account than they are a church website. And I would say, if you're struggling with a church website, interlink them. Somehow put them together. So I say really utilize Facebook. Facebook, you can upload photos, you can upload videos of your services. If you can't do a whole service, do a little clip of your pastor. Really get the word out, and but really create a culture. Don't just go on Google Images and throw up an image, but really maybe say, hey, my graphics guy, can you make a specific graphic for this line or this quote or this series, and let's begin to create a culture on Facebook. I believe more and more young people, as well as more older adults, they're looking for a place that has that authenticity, a place that really looks like they know what they're doing. So I believe that's a great platform, Facebook.
In business, they always say that marketing and sales is about creativity. So it's about how creative are you going to be. Well, Jeremy, I want to thank you for being on the show today. Again, this is Dave Wright at the Business Lounge. Real people, real business, real success. See you the next time at the Business Lounge.